The Naked Universe of Pigeon Poo by Richard Bernard Anthony Tyler, writing as Richard Davies. Narrated by Richard Davies. Dedication. Dedicated to Jane Connolly, the mother of my children. To Luke, Paige, Henry, Lily, and George. To the 5 grandkids who keep the universe expanding. To Rocky, my loyal companion, who stands with me in the middle of the cosmic splatter. And to his late brother Stanley, my other partner in crime, who slipped his collar too soon, but runs with me in the stars forever. Introduction. Welcome to the splatter. We spend our whole lives looking up at the stars to find meaning, forgetting that the universe is looking right back down, taking aim. The rotation of the Earth on its axis is a beautifully tuned mechanical dance, but the floor is still covered in banana peels. There are 3 trillion tales in the naked universe of Pigeon Poo. This is just one of them. But it's the one that matters because it's the one you're reading right now. Humanity has a serious problem. We think we are in control. We build massive towers. We organize our schedules down to the minute. We argue on the internet about things that won't matter in 3 days, and we strut around like we own the place. We think we are the main characters in a very serious drama. But the universe isn't a drama, it's a comedy. And the ultimate punchline is the splatter. You know the splatter. You step out of your house feeling like $1,000,000, ready to conquer the world. You take a deep breath of fresh air and splat! A pigeon. A creature with a brain the size of a peanut has just completely ruined your day with pinpoint accuracy. If you want to understand infinity, don't look at the sky. Try finding the start of a roll of clear sticky tape. That is true madness. The universe uses the sheltered as a shield, hiding its most profound truths behind the simplest, messier moments. That splatter isn't bad luck. It is the naked universe speaking directly to you. It is the cosmos tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Hey mate, calm down. You're not that important." This book is about waking up to that reality. It's about taking all the loose ends, the deleted text messages, the lost keys, the arguments, the grand plans, and the sudden chaos, and realizing that it is all part of the same messy, hilarious, beautiful web. It is humankind everything. We try to align everything. We look at the sky and want order, but the order of the cosmos is built on rotation. Think about it. The overall rotation of our planet around the sun, the central core spinning, the tilt, and the axis trajectory. It looks wildly chaotic from our tiny perspective, like a spinning top wobbling on a coffee table. But it is an incredibly tuned, amazing system. The universe isn't broken because it's messy. The mess is how it keeps from flying apart. You can fight the splatter, or you can laugh at it. I suggest laughing. It's much better for your blood pressure. If you look closely enough at the chaos, you see the perfect design underneath. The splatter isn't the ruin of the masterpiece. If you look closely enough, the splatter is the masterpiece.
Chapter 1: Monuments, Bird Targets, and the Road from Manchester. A monument is just a very expensive, historically significant toilet for a bird with absolutely no respect for human achievement. You can immigrate across the globe to escape your past, but the local wildlife will always recognize your fresh wash. Let's talk about history and grand plans. I was born Richard Bernard Anthony Tyler in Manchester on the 13th of May, 1971. By 1975, the universe decided Manchester wasn't chaotic enough, so it moved me to Wales, Bridgend and St. Bride's Major to be exact. My name shifted to Davies, the scenery changed, and the story took a left turn. Then, in 1981, the cosmos really wound up the pitch and threw me across the globe to Australia as a permanent resident. If you had asked a 10-year-old Richie in Wales what his grand life plan was, he wouldn't have guessed South Nowra, New South Wales. But that's the thing about the naked universe. It doesn't care about your itinerary. We love to build monuments to ourselves. Statues of generals on horses, massive marble pillars for politicians. We try to carve our names into stone so that 1,000 years from now, people will remember how great we were. Do you know what a pigeon sees when it looks at a bronze statue of a war hero? It sees a bathroom with a great view. This is the great equalizer of the naked universe. You can conquer nations, or you can emigrate across the world and reinvent yourself, but you could not stop a bird from turning a legacy into a public restroom. There is profound wisdom in this. We spend so much time stressing about what people will think of us when we are gone. But the naked universe reminds us that every mark we leave is eventually going to get pooped on by the relentless march of time. So why stress? Build the sandcastle, knowing the tide is coming. The pigeon is aiming. Just build the bloody castle and have a laugh. Gravity pulls things down. Arrogance builds things up. Pigeons exist solely to balance the cosmic equation. True navigation doesn't require a map. It just requires you to stop screaming when the GPS tells you to perform a U-turn into the sea. Chapter 2: The Velocity of Lost Keys and Raising 5 Kids. The universe is expanding at the speed of light, but it still can't outrun a set of car keys you literally just put down 10 seconds ago. A household with 5 kids is proof that the laws of physics are merely polite suggestions that children ignore. Have you ever lost your keys? Not like left them at a friend's house lost. I mean, you are standing in your kitchen. You had them in your hand a millisecond ago. You turn around and they are gone, vaporized, swallowed by the void. Now multiply that feeling by 5 kids: Luke, Paige, Henry, Lily, and George. Try finding anything in a house with 5 kids. Science tells us that matter cannot be created or destroyed. Science has clearly never watched me try to find a matching pair of socks or a quiet moment on a Tuesday morning. And now, with 5 grandkids adding to the chaos, the rate of disappearance has gone exponential. In the naked universe, things don't just disappear. They slip through the mesh. Our universe is expanding, getting bigger and faster every single day. And as it stretches, tiny little tears appear in the fabric of reality. Your keys didn't go missing. They fell through the mesh. All those lost items, all the deleted texts on the Alpha GOAT WhatsApp group, all the unsaid words, they are building up. They are creating cosmic friction. The universe is getting heavier with all the things we didn't say and all the things we couldn't find. Once you understand this, you stop getting mad. You look at the mess of raising a massive, beautiful family. You look at the lost keys. You nod at the ceiling and say, "All right, universe, you needed them more than I did. Keep the change." Letting go isn't a spiritual practice. It's just the realization that the universe has already stolen your stuff and isn't giving it back. The sock monster in the dryer isn't an urban legend. It's a highly sophisticated, multi-dimensional gatekeeper feeding on cotton. Chapter 3: 3 trillion tales and counting. There are 3 trillion tales in the universe, and somehow the guy in front of you in the checkout line is moving slowly enough to tell every single one of them. Every stranger you walk past is holding a universe in their head, usually consisting of equal parts cosmic wonder and unpaid bills. We are not alone. I don't mean aliens, though if they are out there, they are definitely losing their keys too. I mean that we are surrounded by stories, 3 trillion of them, bumping into each other every second of the day. Every person you pass on the street in South Nara is living a story just as complicated, stressful, and absurd as yours. It's humankind, everything. We are all deeply connected by the sheer absurdity of being alive. When you realize this, the pressure is off. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be part of the story. From Richard Bernard Anthony Tyler in Manchester to Richard Davies in Australia, it's all one big, messy, continuous thread. I lost a community coffee group of 7,000 people. It felt like a massive tear in my personal mesh. But even when a thread snaps, the loom keeps weaving. Your story is woven into Jane's, into Luke's, Paige's, Henry's, Lily's, and George's. Their stories are woven into the grandkids. We are a massive tapestry of beautiful, chaotic splatter. If there are 3 trillion tales, it means your mistakes aren't that big of a deal. You are a drop of water in the ocean. But the ocean is just a lot of drops holding hands and pretending they know how to swim. Empathy isn't feeling someone else's pain. It's recognizing that we are all slipping on the same cosmic banana peel. When your personal universe collapses, remember that the dust left behind is what new stars are made of. Chapter 4: The Sticky Tape of Infinity. Infinity is a terrifying concept, mostly because it looks exactly like the edge of a roll of sticky tape that you just can't find. We build massive telescopes to look into the deep void, yet we are utterly defeated by the adhesive engineering of a roll of plastic. We try to measure the universe in light years. We build massive telescopes to peer into the void. But if you really want to grasp the terrifying, mind-bending reality of infinity, you just need to wrap a Christmas present. You spin the roll, you feel with your fingernail, you rotate it again. It is perfectly smooth. The edge does not exist. It has become one with the cylinder. In that moment of pure, helpless frustration, you are connecting with the foundational geometry of the naked universe. The sticky tape is a reminder that some problems simply don't have edges. We try to put neat borders around our lives, our careers, our relationships, our 15-year plans. But the edges blur. The tape sticks to itself. The more you pick at it, the more tangled it gets. Sometimes you just have to use scissors, cut a massive jagged chunk out of it, and accept the ugly patch. The naked universe loves a jagged edge. A perfectly wrapped present is a lie we tell ourselves to hide the chaotic, tape-mangled reality inside the box. Infinity is not a long road. It is a circular track with no exit ramp and a very confused driver. Chapter 5: Traffic Splatter Philosophy. A green light is just the universe giving you 30 seconds of false hope before the next red. A traffic jam is the universe forcing you to look at the bumper sticker of a bloke who has clearly never read a book. There is a specific intersection in South Nara. If you sit there long enough, you will witness the entirety of the human condition. You will see grand ambitions thwarted by a stalling engine. You will see profound existential road rage directed at a person who simply forgot to use their indicator. Traffic is the mesh in physical form. It is a collective agreement to sit in metal boxes and inch forward in mutual suffering. And it is entirely out of our control. You can buy the fastest, most expensive car on the planet, and you will still be sitting behind a 1998 Corolla going 15 under the speed limit. This is the splatter in horizontal motion. The universe slowing you down, forcing you to look at the bumper sticker in front of you, forcing you to wait. When you stop fighting the traffic, you start noticing the beautiful absurdity of it all. The brake pedal is the most philosophically important part of the car. It teaches us humility. The horn is the voice of the ego, screaming into the vacuum of a blocked lane. Chapter 6: The Digital Ghosts. Are the ghosts haunting the servers of the universe? We delete our drafts to hide our true thoughts, but the servers remember our hesitation. Where do the deleted texts go? The angry paragraphs you typed out at 2 a.m. and then slowly backspaced into oblivion? The witty comebacks you thought of 5 hours too late? They don't just disappear. They join the digital ghosts of the naked universe. The Alpha GOAT WhatsApp group is a testament to this, a swirling vortex of banter, plans, and chaos that exists entirely in the ether. Our phones are heavy with the gravity of all the things we almost said. We are the first generation in history to leave a legacy of digital phantoms. We carry around devices that connect us to 3 trillion tails instantly. And mostly, we just use them to send pictures of our lunch. But every bit of data, every deleted word, adds friction to the expanding mesh. We are communicating faster than ever, but somehow saying less. Maybe the trick is to stop typing, put the phone down, and just let the ghosts rest. The backspace key has saved more relationships than couples counseling, but at a terrible cosmic cost. An emoji is a tiny pixelated mask we wear when our actual vocabulary is too tired to show its face. Chapter 7: The Beehive Framework. Nature doesn't build in straight lines, it builds in hexagons and hopes for the best. A spreadsheet is a cage we build for a reality that is desperately trying to buzz away. I've always loved the concept of the beehive framework. It's how I organize the chaos. Think about a beehive. From the outside, it's a terrifying, buzzing swarm of chaos. But inside, it is a masterpiece of architectural geometry. We try to organize our lives in spreadsheets, straight rows, perfect columns. But life isn't a spreadsheet, it's a beehive. The cells connect in unpredictable ways. A conversation you have today might fill a cell that doesn't produce honey until 10 years from now. The naked universe demands that we build in hexagons. We have to allow for the connections, the overlap, the sticky mess of collaboration. When we embrace the swarm, we stop panicking about the noise and start appreciating the structure. If you want to understand business, study the bee. It works hard, it communicates through dance, and it will aggressively defend its honey. The honey is sweet, but you still have to navigate the sting to get a taste of the blueprint. Chapter 8: Project Starhaven. A community is just a group of people who have agreed to ignore each other's weirdness for the greater good. We build walls to protect our solitude, and then we build windows because we are terrified of it. Project Starhaven isn't just an idea. It's a rebellion against the isolation of the modern mesh. We build houses of high fences, we stare at screens, and we wonder why we feel so alone in the universe of 3 trillion tails. Starhaven is about creating hubs, physical and social anchors where the splatter can happen safely, where people can gather, share their tales, and find a little bit of gravity in a universe that is constantly trying to pull us apart. We need spaces where it's okay to have lost your keys, where it's okay to have a messy, complicated story. We need monuments not to individuals, but to the collective effort of just getting through a Tuesday. The best architecture doesn't just hold up a roof, it holds together the people underneath it. A home is not a coordinate on a map. It's the place where your personal chaos is allowed to take its shoes off. Chapter 9: The Smile. A smile is the most efficient way to alter the cosmic frequency of the person standing next to you. If you are going to wear a mask, make sure it has a grin painted on the front. It started as a digital garden, a place to plant seeds of positive content, sustainable organic cotton apparel, and a little bit of hope. The smile is my way of throwing some bright, colorful paint back at the naked universe. If the universe is going to throw pigeons at us, we might as well wear something nice when it happens. Sustainable apparel isn't just about saving the planet, it's about respecting the canvas we're living on. When you wear a smile, both literally and figuratively, you change the friction of the mesh. You make the ride just a little bit smoother for everyone else in your orbit. You can't control the weather, but you can control the quality of the umbrella you share with a stranger. A frown is a heavy load to carry across an expanding mesh that is already pulling us apart. Chapter 10: The Architecture of Chaos. A blueprint is just a polite suggestion to a universe that prefers improvisation. The straightest line drawn on draft paper is still wobbly if you zoom in close enough. I ran Nook Nestle building design for 30 years. You learn a lot about the universe when you spend 30 years drawing straight lines for a living. You learn that a perfect blueprint is entirely theoretical. You draw the lines, you calculate the load-bearing walls, you get the permits. And then it rains for 3 weeks straight. The timber works. The client changes their mind. The splatter happens. Architecture is the ultimate act of optimism. It is the belief that we can impose order on a chaotic world. But the master builder knows that the real skill isn't in drawing the lines. It's in knowing how to adapt when the universe decides to redraw them. The shelter you design becomes the shield for those inside. But you have to build the shield out of material that knows how to bend when the wind howls. The most important tool in a designer's kit isn't the ruler, it's the eraser. A perfect house is a museum. A real home has grease on the walls and stories in the floorboards. Chapter 11: Melvin, Hammond, and the Claymation Reality. If you feel like someone is manipulating you from above, you might just be made of clay. The animator leaves their thumbprint on your nose to remind you that you didn't create yourself. Melvin and Hammond, two original characters, built out of digital clay, navigating a world they don't fully understand. In a way, they are the perfect avatars for all of us. Claymation is a beautiful metaphor for life. You are molded, you are moved, a fraction of an inch at a time, and it takes agonizing patience to see the bigger picture. We are all just trying to hit our marks in a stop-motion reality. When Melvin trips and Hammond laughs, it's a reflection of the 3 trillion tales. We are moldable, we are messy, and sometimes the animator leaves a thumbprint on our forehead. That's not a flaw. That's proof we were touched by the creator. Life is a stop-motion film, and most of us are just trying to figure out what happens in the next frame. The pose we strike today is just a transition to the tumble we are taking tomorrow. Chapter 12: Rocky, the Crossbreed Companion. A dog is the only creature that truly understands the naked universe. Mostly because they are perfectly happy to roll in the splatter. A canine perspective simplifies the cosmos into things you can eat, things you can chase, and things you should ignore. If you want to understand inner peace, observe a pug and Jack Russell crossbreed named Rocky. Rocky does not care about the expanding mesh. Rocky does not care about lost keys or the architectural integrity of monuments. Rocky cares about 2 things: when the next meal is arriving and who is available for a scratch. He is entirely present in the moment. I had another partner in crime once, Rocky's brother, Stanley. Earlier this year, in the quiet sunrise, Stanley slipped his collar. He was running around, fooling, smiling, happy as Larry, pure joy on his little face. And then, in a sudden split second, an oncoming car took him from our timeline. I had to carry his warm, still body back home with a shattered heart. That is the devastating side of the splatter. But even when the physical thread snaps, the love stays anchored. Stanley had saved my life when he was a new puppy, giving me purpose when I was at my absolute lowest. His little smile kept me going for years, and he is with me forever, chasing cosmic balls in a parallel timeline where the roads are always clear. Dogs are the grounding wires of the human experience. When the velocity of the splatter gets too high, when the deleted texts are overwhelming, a dog will simply place his chin on your knee and bring you instantly back to reality. They are the true masters of humankind everything. We think we are walking the dog, but the dog is actually anchoring us to the earth. Rocky doesn't read the stars to find his coordinates. He just sniffs the nearest lamppost. Texts are overwhelming. A dog will simply place his chin on your knee and bring you instantly back to reality. They are the true masters of humankind everything. Chapter 13: The God Labs. When you start digging into the code of the universe, don't be surprised if the universe starts digging back. We build machines to think for us, forgetting that we still can't remember where we parked our car. We are stepping into an era where we are trying to play creator. The God Labs, biological research, artificial intelligence, cognitive modeling. We are reaching out to the Smithsonian, trying to document our place in the grand timeline before the timeline shifts again. It is thrilling and it is terrifying. We are trying to build artificial minds when we barely understand the biological ones inside our own heads. We are trying to map the universe while we still lose our glasses on top of our heads. The naked universe watches us tinker in our labs with a mix of amusement and pride. We are trying to figure out the joke. But the closer we get to the source code, the more we realize the code is just an infinite loop of splatter and adaptation. True intelligence isn't building a perfect machine, it's knowing how to reboot it when it freezes. We seek the source code of reality, only to discover it was written in grease pencil on a dirty workbench.
Chapter 14: The Velocity of the Splatter. The faster you run from the chaos, the quicker you arrive at the punchline. We are accelerating directly into our own loose ends, and the windshield is starting to crack. This is the transition. We have looked at the monuments, the traffic, the digital ghosts, and the beehives. We have acknowledged the 3 trillion tales and the sticky tape of infinity. But the universe isn't just expanding, it's accelerating. The friction is building, the velocity of the splatter is increasing. What happens when all the unresolved moments, the unsent texts, the lost items, the conversations we never finished, get caught in the gears of a universe that is speeding up? This is the bridge to the next phase. We have accepted the chaos. Now we have to learn how to surf it. The loose ends are starting to spark. Fasten your seatbelts. The naked universe has no brakes, and the steering wheel is made of jelly. The speed limit of existence is constantly being adjusted by a patrolman who is currently asleep in his car.
Chapter 15: The Cosmic Elastic Band, My Evil Twin, and the Shield of Sevens. The universe isn't just expanding, it's pulling a fast one on us, and the cosmic elastic band is starting to hum. Today is the 7th of the 7th, 2026, and the sevens have officially aligned to show us the ultimate trajectory of the mesh. If you've made it this far through our first chat, congratulations. You've survived the descent of the white gold, accepted that your memory is a leaky bucket, and stopped screaming at the red lights in South Nowra. You are officially initiated into the naked universe. But as we stand on the precipice of the next jump, I have to let you in on a little secret. The universe is not static. It is expanding. And because it is expanding, it is picking up speed. The velocity is changing. Think about a standard household elastic band. If you hold it loose between your fingers, it's flaccid, harmless, and completely silent. You can wiggle it around, make a little face with it, maybe drop it on the kitchen counter next to those keys you lost 3 days ago. That is the universe in its infancy. Slow, quiet, and easily contained. Now take that band and stretch it. Pull your hands apart. What happens? The rubber thins. It gets tense. If you pluck it with your fingernail, it doesn't just wobble, it hums. It vibrates at a frequency that makes your teeth itch. It gets warm to the touch. That, my friends, is the exact cosmic epoch we are living in right now. We are the generation standing on a highly stretched, vibrating piece of universal rubber, and the tension is reaching a fever pitch. I call this the velocity of the splatter, and it is the entire architectural foundation of Book 2. And while we are talking about extreme tension, let's look across the playground at my evil twin, Elon Musk, or Elon Masters as the digital translation sometimes wants to call him. Elon and I are a perfect cosmic study in binary opposition. He is the richest bloke on the planet, launching shiny metal rockets into the orbit of Mars, building gigafact drones, and trying to upload human brains into silicon.
And then there's me, Richie. I do it my own way. While Elon has been stacking up billions, I've spent this year bankrupt, pretty much homeless, to be completely honest. I've been running this entire digital operation, coordinating this book, cloning my voice, and drafting these designs while living out of my car and a temporary room. My Ultra Studio is an old Google Pixel 6 with a cracked screen and my trusty iPhone 12. 6 months ago, I was sleeping under the stars, not because I was searching for the meaning of life, but because I literally didn't have a roof. I lost my 7,000-strong community coffee group, a massive social coordinate that anchored my daily routine, and had to watch the pieces of my old structure scatter into the wind. But here is the profound, beautiful logic of the naked universe. Elon is trying to build a rocket to escape this planet, but he is still bound by the same gravity. He is stressed, he is fighting on the internet, and his hair looks incredibly expensive. I was homeless, broke, and typing on a phone that freezes when it gets too warm. But I've got Jane Connolly, the mother of my kids, my 5 children, my 5 grandkids, and a pug Jack Russell crossbreed named Rocky who thinks I am a literal god. Who is really winning the cosmic trajectory here? Our planet spins on its axis at a tilted trajectory of 23.5 degrees. This tilt is what gives us our seasons, our rotation, and our movement around the sun. It looks wobbly. It looks chaotic. If an architect designed a building with a 23.5-degree lean, the council would laugh them out of the office. But this wobbly, tilted trajectory is exactly what allows life to exist. The wobble is the design. Vs equals, open parentheses, T times C, close parentheses, divided by M, where V, S is the velocity of the splatter, T is the number of active tails, C is the speed of modern communication, and M is the thickness of the cosmic mesh. As C goes infinite with our digital chats on our Pixel 6s and iPhones, and T approaches 3 times 10 to the power of 12 overlapping narratives, the mesh M gets dangerously thin. The universe uses the sheltered as a shield. When you are exposed to the elements, when you lose everything and find yourself sleeping in a metal box on wheels, you realize that the shield isn't a physical building. The shield is the shelter of your own mind, your family, your laugh, and your capacity to look at the bird poo on your windshield and say, "Nice shot, mate." Today is the 7th of July, 2026. It's exactly 7 p.m. in South Nowra. This book has been expanded, beefed up, and tuned to reach exactly 7,777 words. 3 sevens on the 7th of the 7th. A perfect cosmic alignment of numbers. The alternate timelines are bleeding into our own. The walls between our stories are fraying. The loose ends are whipping around. That is what Book 2, The Velocity of the Splatter, is all about. It's about navigating the warp speed. It's about finding your footing when the floor underneath you is vibrating at 10,000 cycles per second. I can hear the hum of the elastic band. I can see the outline of the next drop. We aren't just observing the splatter anymore. We are accelerating directly into it. So hold on to your hats, watch the skies, and get ready for the snap. Because when this elastic band finally gives way, well, it's going to be one hell of a ride. If you want to make God laugh, show him your bank balance. If you want to make him cry, show him your 30-year plan. A cracked screen on an old phone still displays the same stars as a $1 million telescope. Epilogue, a roadmap to nothingness, the saga ahead. Every beginning is just an ending that hasn't realized the joke yet. We come from nothing, we go back to nothing, and in between we try really hard to find our car keys. What a magnificent ride. So what happens next? If this is book 1 of a trilogy, or maybe a sprawling, multi-dimensional saga of a trillion jumps, where is this runaway train actually heading? Right now, we are in an ever-expanding universe, picking up speed. The 3 trillion tales are multiplying. We are accelerating outward, stretching the fabric of reality with every misspelled text message, every dropped French fry, and every grand, chaotic human mistake. The universe is spinning faster, and the splatter is hitting harder. In Book 2, we will explore the velocity of the splatter. How do you maintain your grip on the logic of chaos when the universe hits warp speed? We'll dive into the trillion more jumps, the alternate timelines where the pigeon misses the statue, and the escalating absurdity of a species that keeps building taller monuments on the faster spinning rock. And Book 3, the grand finale, the ultimate cosmic punchline. Because infinite expansion has a limit. Eventually, you stretch the mesh we were conceived on so far that it simply tears. Snap. The grand elastic band of humankind everything gives way, and we all get sucked back into the magnificent, echoing nothingness from which we came. No monuments left, no leaky buckets, no ancient chatlongs to worry about, just the void, finally wiping the windshield completely clean. But until the cosmic mesh tears, we have a lot of living to do. See you in the next jump.
They say time is money, but here, it's just heavy ink. Fortunately, color always knows how to find its way. I spent 30 years drawing straight lines. Then the universe moved the ruler. Welcome to our exposed reality.